Good morning, everybody. Welcome to the Rose Bowl Aquatics Center. I am Tyron Hampton. I'm the council member that represents the 1st District, and I am extremely happy to be here. The Rose Bowl Aquatics Center is a very special place to our community members. As you see, there are some right behind us swimming laps. You also have some congregating and having just basic conversations about the week. This has been more than just a swimming pool for our community. This has been a community space. It hasn't always been that space for everyone in the community, especially for African Americans, but only reason I mention that is because in the 90s, when we reopened this facility, we turned into this community space where African Americans were welcome, as you see today. I am your MC. The Rose Bowl Aquatic Center is also home to Olympic athletes. We have Olympic gold athletes that have trained in this facility like John Neighbor and Christine Quantz. During our reopening, being a part of the community, the Rose Bowl Aquatic Center has taught and will continue to teach each and every Pasadena Unified School District 3rd grader how to swim so that they too could be the next John Neighbor. So I mentioned all that to say that our history is bright and it looks bright in this future, especially going through COVID and looking like we're going to be getting a little closer to opening up. So today we are here to talk about water safety and the importance of water safety. I'm going to tell you as one person that lives in this community and right down the street from this pool, I don't know how to swim myself. I know how to get out of a pool if I fell in, but I don't know how to swim. So I'm going to let everybody know that I am going to vouch today in public on this screen that I'm going to learn how to swim before the end of the year. Or I'm going to try. Or I'm definitely going to try. So with that being said, I am going to turn it over to the Meow Foundation, and we have Mr. Charles Brown with us, and he will present from Meow Foundation.
Good morning, everyone. It's so nice to be here today. I wanted to introduce my wife, Liliana Cornado, and my name is Charles Brown. We serve on the board of directors for the Meow Foundation, and it's a real honor to be here to discuss this very important water safety event on behalf of the Meow Foundation. Meow was created by two courageous parents in the wake of unimaginable loss. After losing their precious daughter, Roxy, to a preventable drowning 2 years ago, they have really undertaken the heroic, the Herculean, and uniquely human task of transforming profound grief and sorrow into awareness and action. And Doug and Elena, the founders of the Meow Foundation, have exemplified, I think, what's best in humanity. And their courage, I think, is an example for all of us. Meow's goal is to work with partners like the Rose Bowl Aquatic Center towards the achievable goal of eliminating preventable childhood drowning, which is the leading cause of injury-related death in children ages 1 through 4. And drowning disproportionately impacts children of color specifically. We just concluded the first ever Roxy's Wish Drowning Prevention Week for children. And special thanks to Representative Holden of the California Legislature for designating every 3rd week of May as Roxy's Wish Week. Councilman Hampton talked about the importance of this facility as a center of community, and I think nothing could be more true. Meow recognizes the interrelationship between water safety, between access, and community. I'm a proud Pasadenian. I grew up the street here on the other side of the Rose Bowl, and I know what that community means firsthand. Growing up, my friends and I, we'd ride our bikes down to the pool when it was Brookside Park, and we're talking like the late 70s and early 80s. And it's here that we learned to swim, and we learned to love the water, and we learned to feel safe in the water. I played high school football down at the Rose Bowl for our annual turkey tussle. So my experience is deeply rooted in the community here in Pasadena, And my experience is especially rooted to my experiences at the pool at Brookside Park and the Rose Bowl Aquatics Center. Uh, Summers in high school and college, my friends and I, we became lifeguards. We became water safety instructors. And 30 years later, we still laugh about how, that was really the best time and the best jobs of our lives. And I think, I think the lifeguards here will attest to the fact that when you're a lifeguard in the community, it's really a way to intimately interact with the lives of your friends and community members. And I think there's nothing greater than to be able to teach a young child to swim and to see the confidence that grows from that. And to this day, I run into people who, when I was a lifeguard, were little kids, and now they're EMTs and firefighters for the city of Pasadena and the city of Los Angeles. And, it just brings back so many memories. And to be able to be involved in so many lives, I think is such a unique experience. And that's a different experience, as Mr. Hampton touched on, from someone from my father's generation who also would try to sneak into the pool here in the 30s and 40s and would not be allowed to swim, or would be able to swim here on International Day when they would drain the pool after children of color swam. We've come a long way since then, but we still have a long way to go. The great Bruce Lee said we should all be like water. We should be flexible. We should be creative. We should be strong and life-sustaining like water. In her recent book about the collective cost to community, when it loses the pool, the author, Heather McGee, wrote, "We live under the same sky." Isn't that so true? To be here under this beautiful day, under this beautiful sky, shouldn't we all be like water under this beautiful sky today? To me and to my family, our children who learn to swim here, the Rose Bowl Aquatics Center has been such a rich and meaningful wellspring. It really is a community jewel here. And I would venture to say that this place is the big beating heart of the Pasadena community that we love, Mr. Hampton loves, and I think that we all love, and that we all deeply, deeply appreciate. How many competitive swimmers, how many water polo players, how many divers, how many Olympians have emerged from these waters? Or how many people have been able to use the pool just to get in shape, or take water aerobics as a senior? How many injured people have learned to heal themselves with the guiding hand of instructors in the therapy pool? How many disabled and physically challenged individuals have been encouraged by the supportive arms of lifeguards and instructors in the therapy pool? When we come here for swimming lessons and we see the loving care that goes into all people from all walks of life who come to this pool to learn and grow and to be part of this beautiful community. On a hot summer day, how many children do we see frolicking in the pool, and the joy that comes from that? And how many lifeguards that have worked here that have gone on, as Emily and us discussed, how many people have found a career in lifeguarding or used lifeguarding as a way to further give back to the community by becoming a EMT or found careers in community safety. So, as I mentioned before, we know that one of the keys to water safety is access to safe water spaces and quality instruction. The Rose Bowl Aquatic Center has a wonderful Learn to Swim program for Pasadena third graders. Today, I think the Meow Foundation would like to propose and pledge its support to partner with the Rose Bowl Aquatic Center and find ways to expand that program to kindergartners and preschoolers and first graders and second graders, because we know that that is such a critical age to learn to swim. Again, thank you for the opportunity to be here on behalf of Meow. Let's, quote, all do our part as we cherish this beautiful facility and work towards the elimination of preventable drowning in our community and beyond. Thank you.
Rose Bowl Aquatics is a special place, and it's not just a special place for the national swimmers. We're so amazingly proud of John Neighbor, Christine Quantz, and others that have represented us for Rose Bowl Aquatics in the Olympics. I'm going to have to put out the plug for my boy Trenton Julian, who you may see in June, who's likely to make the United States Olympic team and represent the Rose Bowl Aquatics as the son of both Jeff and Christine. So it's something to be proud of. But it's not just those Olympic athletes. It's not just the NCAA Division I athlete who benefits from here. It's the entire community. And more importantly, it's learning how to swim. Swimming can be dangerous. And unfortunately, that's what I'm here to talk about today. Being pool safe is really important. It doesn't matter if you're the little 4-year-old who's jumping into the pool for the first time, or you're the council member who's going to learn to swim, and we promise you will. We can teach you. It's important to be safe. Why? Because drowning is a very common accident. Now, if somebody drowns, and we're going to talk about that later, the concern is that their lungs will fill up with fluid and they will stop breathing and their heart could stop. One of the major concerns of this is that if someone has a cardiac arrest or a loss of heart function outside of the hospital and not near a paramedic, it is only the likelihood that someone performs CPR is only about 40%. That is astonishing. So 60% of the time with somebody with no pulse and no respirations, nothing is going to happen. Okay? If somebody has cardiac arrest, we all have heard these defibrillators, and there's been so much publicity about doing defibrillators and all that. The likelihood of somebody applying the defibrillator and turning it on is only 12%. This has not changed since 2012. We do know that if you perform CPR of any kind of bystander CPR, the benefit of survival is over doubled just by performing CPR. Now, it is very scary to perform CPR if you are not trained. The biggest thing we hear all the time is, am I going to do harm? And the answer is absolutely, unequivocally, no. You cannot make the person any worse than they are at this point in time. So do what you can do. And there's so many opportunities to learn CPR. You can do it by video. You don't have to fully get certified. That's a great idea, but there's so many instructional ways to learn how to do CPR. And everybody is concerned, well, what about COVID and my risk of doing CPR? Am I going to get CPR? The answer is probably not, okay? It is extremely unlikely. And currently, the American Heart Association, the American College of Cardiology has come up with guidelines of just doing chest compressions. So if an adult was to collapse and have no spontaneous respirations and is not awake, just performing chest compressions at a rate of 100 compressions per minute doubles the overall survival. And when you just say that, we improve the likelihood of performing CPR from less than 40% to 66%. So that is very beneficial. Now in children, optimally you would like to do both respiratory and chest compressions to help in survival. But again, if you can just do chest compressions, that is a significant benefit. The first thing you should consider in any serious drowning is to call for help. Okay? No one wants to do this alone. Even in the hospital during a cardiac arrest, we have a large team that comes together. Why? Because it's better to be in a group. It's better to think together. And if you can call for help, there may be somebody who wasn't aware who is trained to do CPR. So if you come across somebody anywhere, even in the pool, get them out of the pool and call for help. That person can then call 911 and get trained specialists here. Then you begin performing CPR. The guidelines now say do not check for a pulse. Okay, it is very hard to feel. You may not feel it because the blood pressure is too low, and you may not know what you necessarily are feeling, or you may actually be feeling your own pulse, which probably is going very fast at the time. So the best thing to do is if someone is not breathing and someone is not responsive, begin chest compressions, call for help, and call 911. But what is the most important way to prevent drowning is be vigilant around the pool. And this happens not only at the Aquatics Center where we have lifeguards, but with things opening up throughout the country, and especially for us come June 15th likely, there's going to be pool parties. The summer is happening and all that. For parents, be very vigilant. The way vigilance starts is know who's coming to your pool. Be aware of what their capabilities are. If someone is not pool safe, you have to be more vigilant. And if you're going to have a pool party, consider hiring somebody to be your designated lifeguard. That serves multiple things. Number one is a person who's dedicated on watching the pool at all times. Number two, it allows the adults who should still be vigilant to then have the ability to discuss and talk with others and have that. Because everybody is excited to be social. But turning your back on a pool with a child who can't swim is a recipe for a disaster. So have a lifeguard there who's dedicated. And I promise you, if you're to come to this pool, come 3 o'clock in the afternoon, there's probably 100 or so kids who'd be more than happy in the summer to become a lifeguard. And they're actually very cheap in cost. My daughter included. So I think in essence, the most important thing to do is be comfortable around a pool and learn CPR. If you can just perform chest compressions 100 beats per minute, you're going to double the survival of the person who has had a cardiac arrest from drowning. And that's the takeaway message. Just please do something because it's going to be beneficial. I'll take any questions later, but right now I'd like to introduce Fire Chief Dr. Chad Augustin.
Good morning. And while we're thrilled to be here today, it's a beautiful day. It's a great day to be in the water. This beautiful day could turn tragic in a matter of moments. If you're not aware, May is Water Safety Month, and I'm here representing Pasadena Fire Department with some important safety messages. As you may have already heard, drowning is the #1 preventable cause of death for children age 1 to 4, and it's the second leading cause of death for children ages 5 to 9. If I could remind you that drownings can happen in a matter of seconds. And so I'm going to provide you some great tips today on the prevention side. Swimming is a great recreational sport, and we want it to be enjoyed by all ages, but we want it to be done safely. We want to remind you to swim in designated areas that are supervised by a lifeguard, and always swim with a friend. Never leave a child unattended near the water. It is amazing how quickly you turn your back for 1 minute and that child is in the bottom of the pool. That beautiful day can turn tragic, like I said, in a matter of moments. I urge you strongly to have inexperienced children in swimming or children who don't know how to swim to always have a life jacket on anytime they're around the water. Because around the water can turn into in the water as fast as you can turn your back. Parents and loved ones, always keep your eyes on your children. We know how quick they can move and get into the water as you turn your back. Encourage you today to learn how to swim. And we've heard that today from Councilmember Hampton, and that is really exciting. It doesn't matter the age. It is a great sport, but it also can save your life. If you have a pool, please remember to secure that pool with appropriate barriers. Always avoid distractions when there's children around the pool. And as was previously stated, it's highly recommended to have a designee whose only responsibility is watching those children and anyone around the pool and in the pool. If a child is missing, don't delay, look to the water first. Those are precious seconds or minutes that can be the difference between life and death. Know how to call 911 and have a plan. And lastly, what I would like you to remember today, for those kids that don't know how to swim, don't forget, kids don't float. Have a plan, let's train hard, and let's prevent together the next preventable drowning. Thank you. And next, I'd like to introduce Cristina Alvarado. She is the Director of Swim Lessons for the Rose Bowl.
Good morning, everyone. It brings me such joy to kind of look in the crowd today and see faces that I haven't seen for over a year for many of you. My name is Cristina Alvarado, and I am the Director of Swim Lessons here at the Rose Bowl Aquatics Center. For over 10 years, I have had the pleasure of overseeing our water safety programs. We offer year-round group and private swim lessons for all ages and abilities. We like to think of the water as a great equalizer amongst our very diverse community, and we want everyone to be able to enjoy the water safely. Since 1991, the Rose Bowl Aquatic Center has partnered with the Pasadena Unified School District to offer swim lessons at no cost to their students. The program started as a pilot program, but slowly grew over the years to include every third grader in every PUSD elementary school. The focus of the program has always been to create equitable access to water safety classes to students in the community, regardless of their socioeconomic status. With the support of organizations like the Pasadena Education Foundation, the LA84 Foundation, the center has been able to offer swim lessons to over 25,000 students. Unfortunately, due to COVID, the program was put on a temporary pause. However, we are committed to bringing back the program as soon as it is safe to do so. Now, a question that I am frequently asked in my role is, why is water safety or learning how to swim so important? Simply put, it is a life-saving skill. According to the National Drowning Prevention Alliance, formal swimming lessons reduce the risk of drowning among children ages 1 to 4 by 88%. 88%. If we combine formal swim lessons with proper supervision and proper barriers, eliminating drowning is well within our reach. Of course, there's going to be medical tragedies that occur in the water. We may never be able to prevent those drownings from occurring, but what we can do is protect our youth. The theme that we are here to discuss today is the role that you can play in water safety and drowning prevention. Parents, register your kids for swim lessons with trained professionals. Homeowners with pools, make sure that your pools are fenced on all 4 sides. Please also make sure that any gates to the pool area are self-closing or self-latching so that gates can't accidentally be left open. As mentioned many times today, it's also important to swim in bodies of water that are being supervised by lifeguards. Why? Because accidents can occur at any moment. Lifeguards are actually trained to identify potential accidents and prevent them from happening, in addition to responding in the event of an emergency. I would also like to take the time today to discuss the center's scholarship program. The scholarship program is just another example of the center's commitment to creating access and reducing financial barriers for the community. Scholarships can be applied to many programs at the Aquatic Center. The Rose Bowl Aquatic Center does accept donations year-round to help fund the scholarship program. If you are in a position to do so, we encourage you to donate to the scholarship fund so that we can continue to offer programming at reduced costs. Thanks to the Dewey family and Dewey Pest Control, the Rose Bowl Aquatic Center, for all new Scholarship Club donations made in the month of June, all of those donations will be matched. so effectively doubling all new scholarship club donations that we receive. If legislators, organizations, community members, and parents work together, we can make a significant difference in preventing drowning. Thank you.
We look forward to seeing you here at the Aquatic Center. Remember, everybody, safety first. Whether you're at home or you're at the beach or you're at the Aquatic Center, safety first. With that being said, God bless everybody. I love you. Thank you for being here.